Okay, I had a solid practice this evening. We're going to have a very light practice tomorrow, and then we're going to let our guys enjoy Thanksgiving. And then we'll get in our normal Friday routine after that.
Gus, could you walk us through sort of y'all's plan as a staff and your players for Thanksgiving, how you're going to arrange everything?
Yeah, we're going to let our players that have their families to spend it with them. If not, we're going to have over the coaches' houses and just do things together.
Will you be hosting any of the players?
Possible.
What's Christy got on set?
She's working on it.
You try to tell the players not to overindulge, eat one helping and not.
You know, if you're playing on Friday, you would definitely talk about that. But playing on Saturday, it shouldn't be too big of a factor.
Guess there's been some reports about Alabama's starting center possibly being hurt. Whether that's true or not or whatever, if he can play, just how does that affect the planning at this point?
We're expecting everyone to play.
Can you talk about special teams and the importance of that if it's a close game on Saturday?
Yeah, special teams has been a big factor, for us this year, and it'll be a big factor Saturday. There's no doubt, and they got a very good special teams, and I feel very good about our special teams, so that'll be a big factor.
Can you talk about your two seniors, Cody and Steven, and how they've been a factor?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, I feel like we got one of the better kickers and one of the better punters in all of college football, and they've had outstanding years, and expect them to play well on Saturday.
After that injury to Halsey, and there were so many issues with the secondary and with injuries, just talk about how they've responded since then and kind of shore things up.
I tell you what, it's secondary has really done a good job, and our defensive coaches have done a very good job of, double teaching a lot of guys. Some of them have to know corner and dime and regular safety, and so our guys have done an outstanding job filling in because we're very thin back there.
Gus, you've spoken about how important balance is in play calling throughout the season in particular, not only in this game, but in general when you're dealing with recruiting and things like that. How important is play calling, and how cognizant are you of that when you're dealing with the recruiting end?
Well, what you do is whatever team you have, you got to do what gives your team the best chance of being successful. The better teams you play, the more balanced you have to be. But if you look back at our past, we've thrown the ball effectively when we've had to, and this year we just happen to be running. So it really depends on each group, from year to year.
Gus, has there been a conversation you had or a moment this season where you saw something in Nick that thought him growing the leader he's become was possible?
I think there's been a lot of different times that's happened with his growth, and sometimes it's in practice and maybe just something like it clicks and he gets it and he can react and not have to think and be a little more natural. And some of them have been in games too, but the majority of them have been in practice. And I said he's feeling more and more comfortable, each practice and each game.
We know he's not very vocal, at least, kind of rah-rah kind of vocal, but you do see him during games going over the line, going over the defense and kind of speaking. When you see that from him, what does that tell you about him?
Yeah, he's one of our leaders, and it's always good that your quarterback is a natural leader. And when he does talk, his teammates listen. And I say he's got the respect of his teammates and his coaches.
When you look at your staff and what you guys have been able to do this season, do you think one of the biggest strengths for your guys right now, especially the guys that are calling plays, is the adjustments inside the game when things are starting to get a little dicey and you guys have been able to respond?
Well, of course, that's always the plan, that you're able to adjust and make the right decisions. But, players deserve a lot of credit for that they've been able to adjust when they've had to. And I said our players have done an outstanding job with that.
Gus, not trying to give you any ideas, but dealing with all the outside distractions and the hype around this game, going back to last year's national championship, Coach Saban had ESPN taking off the player hotel room televisions the night before the game. Have you ever done anything like that, or were you think of anything like that leading up to this?
What we're trying to do is be in the same routine that we've had from week to week. And, obviously, it's a big game. Our guys understand that, but they've been pretty status quo, with their approach.
Gus, you won the Broyles Award back in 2010. What does it mean to you to see Rhett be nominated for the award this year?
Well, I feel like he's one of the best in the business of what he does. And, he's has a lot more wisdom and really even experienced for his age, and he deserves to be in that group.
Gus, will you want to know the Florida State and Ohio State scores before the game?
What's that?
Will you want to know the outcome of the Florida
No.
State and Ohio State game?
Not at all.
Because we talked about practice this week with the extra practice. Was this like a Wednesday practice? And just how was practice going?
Yeah, we handled this like a Wednesday/Thursday practice. Obviously tomorrow will be a Thursday type practice, but we feel like we've covered our bases.
You a turkey or ham guy?
Turkey.
Turkey.
All right, Coach. Yes, thank you.